Hola, everybody, close and far, far away. This is the episode 493 of the Two Dum Yinzers. Good morning, welcome everybody, welcome back. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How you doing, Mike? How you doing, Derpy?
Oh man, doing good, man. I'm ready to
Derpy.
go.
I gotta say, I was quite entertaining. I don't remember who it was. I don't remember if it was P. I don't remember if it was Ron. I don't remember who it was. But yesterday, somebody coined the Derpy sound effect we use as the Derpy signal, like the bat signal, and I cannot stop, not stop thinking of that because it is what it is. I
It
mean, when
is.
I don't hear Derpy for a while, and then I ask him something, I have to hit that sound effect in
You
order to get
do.
his attention. I mean, he could be out on a date for all I know. I mean, we don't hear from him for a while, and I have to send out the derpy signal,
The
and
derp signal.
and then he comes running, and there he is. He makes himself readily available. So it's the derpy signal. I like it. I can't recall who said it, but I do dig, and I do give you credit, whoever it was. I just can't remember who it was.
I can't remember either, but yeah, it's the derp signal, man.
The derp signal.
The derp signal. Derp.
Good morning, everybody. Mike,
Yes.
Derpy, anybody on the board, anybody listening? I want to know, has anybody ever gone up and experienced the ceremonies at Gobbler's Knob? I want to know because I've never been up there, and I can't imagine that it's very fun or exciting at all. But people go up to Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, every year
Hmm.
to experience the festivities and watch them lift this groundhog out of a box, and they play this big game like there's going to be winter or whatever the hell they do. I don't even know what they do. But if anybody has ever had this and done this, let me know. I'd like to hear about it. I never gone, and yeah, apparently you have to go soon, guys, because if you don't, they're going to be flipping a coin pretty soon. Because apparently PETA thinks that Phil, after all these years, is being mistreated. Um, so if anybody has gone up to Gobbler's Knob,
That's just a great name, by the
which
way.
I would be a place that I assume Mike would go often, but
You
if
know it, big boy.
anybody,
You know
if
it.
anybody Mike loves the Gobbler's Knob.
I do.
If
I
anybody has gone
do.
up there, I'd love to hear about it. I honestly, maybe I know people who went, but I don't know. I just I don't know. I've never been there myself. So if anybody has any Gobbler's Knob experience, please fill me in.
I just have no. I see Groundhog Day and all that stuff. It never really. I never bought into it. The whole thing with
I mean, the thing
Punxsutawney
is, it's
Phil.
obviously it's just something to create a little bit of a buzz. It's not real,
Yeah,
and obviously this groundhog has no.
yeah. But like, there are people that love this. They live and die by it, man. They love it so much. I just don't get it.
Um,
But hey, you know what? Who am I to judge, man? Whatever gets you through the day, I'm not gonna hate them.
so there you go, everybody. If anybody has any Gobbler's Knob tales, please fill me in. Feel free to write us, email us, go to our website. And I would love to hear about your experience with Gobbler's Knob.
You
I
just
would,
like saying gobblers.
if you say it any other time of year, you're weird. But now
Yeah.
you could say it, you could say it in excess, and you know what? It's fine. So that's what
Uh-huh.
I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to say Gobbler's Knob for the next 2 days, whether you like it or not, Derpy. There you have it.
Derpy.
Speaking of farces and things like this, remember when we were kids, guys, and you always had that argument with your friends? Is wrestling real? Well, it's not real.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real. It's not real. And even till this day, I mean, you could run into people in the trailer park that's still going to argue you up and down that it's real. Are we almost at that point with the NFL guys where we're going to be arguing with one another? Because there's been a bunch of conspiracy theories and a bunch of things that have gone on over the past couple seasons in the NFL that might make people think, you know what, this isn't entirely organic as it was in the past, and the
Hmm.
game feels a lot different now than it did 2 to 3 years ago, and years beyond that. Are we going to get to the point, guys, where we're arguing back and forth? Um, is the NFL real? Is it fixed? Is it fake? Does it have a script? Does it have a predetermined outcome? Mike, is that going to be something that we're going to see in society in the next few years moving forward? People are going to just start arguing and saying, you know what, it's not real. It's is this something that's coming?
Yeah,
down the
it's
pike.
it's coming big time. One with the gambling being attached to the league now, and like I forget who it was, but years ago they predicted that once you know these sports leagues adopt embrace the gambling side of it, it's people are going to start questioning the veracity of these outcomes anymore. And we're seeing it now, and I think the prevalence of the social media now too, where anyone and everyone has a platform, and you get a lot of like-minded people that agree on this topic of these leagues are rigged. It's just a snowball effect. More and more people talking about it becomes more and more of the into the zeitgeist of the culture, and it's in everyone's mind. Like, is this real or not? How many times in the past when we watch before social media, when we would watch a game, you'd see questionable calls, maybe one or two a game. Now we're seeing more and more. Now, is that because the league's trying to rig it, or there's cameras everywhere now at these games? Everyone has access to all the video footage. You can get everyone can stream the replays. Everyone can analyze these games frame by frame. So you can create your own narrative of hey, this is rigged. Look, they missed this call. Whereas back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, we wouldn't have seen that hold right there. We wouldn't have seen that trick. We wouldn't have seen that pass interference because we didn't have that camera angle. Now we do. So it's like there's a lot of things that you can say, yeah, it's fixed. But on the other hand, you can say, hey, we just now have more cameras to where we can see all the stuff that before refs missed, fans missed. But
Other hand,
I do think there are some officials, because it is human nature. If someone on that team pisses you off, you know what? I'm not going to give you that call.
on the other hand, Mike,
Or you know what?
you
You're
have
kind of
people
cool.
now
I'm going
that
to let
think
you
outside
slide.
the box, and people that think outside the box, they now have a platform where before you were just the weird guy.
Yeah.
If you didn't think and believe and talk the way
Mm-hmm.
that everybody else did, well, you know what? This guy's just a conspiracy theorist. He
Mm-hmm.
don't know what he's talking about. He's a weirdo. But now people realize that there's other people like them around here
Yeah.
and around them and out there. And they have a voice now. And I think that many things play into this, Mike, but I agree with you. I think this is going to be something that we're going to be dealing with down the road, if not this year, if not the
Yeah.
next year. I think within the next 5 years, people are going to come out with that argument. Is this real? Is this, is this fake? And it's going to be as it was as we were
Yeah.
younger people arguing about the wrestling, the
Yeah.
WWEs, the WCWs, and of course, at the end of the day, what it is about wrestling. Of course, it's not real. It's predetermined, but these guys are out there
The
doing
athleticism.
everything that they take and the athleticism and the work and the bumps and everything
Mm-hmm.
that they put into it. It's certainly real. The injuries most of the time are real unless it is scripted in. But
Yeah.
what? That's the beauty of sports entertainment, I think. And that is what it is. And beyond that, Mike, I kind of fear, because these organic sports that they
Mm-hmm.
are played, competitively, baseball, football, basketball, hockey, so on, so on. I just wonder, and if it does get to that point, what's going to be the limit? Is it going to be to the point where we're saying, okay, well, we accept the fact that you already know who's going to win,
Yeah.
but it's still a real sport because they're out there hitting one another.
Yeah. But yeah, like for like a conspiracy to work, you want as few people involved as possible. Because the more and more people involved in that conspiracy, it's hard to contain it. So I can see, like, maybe a small cabal of, Goodell and some people influencing officials like, hey, we want calls to go this way for this team. This team right here, let's not give them the call. Because you can, look, the Raiders have always historically have been one of the most penalized teams in the league. So if you throw more penalties on them, it's like, oh, that's just the Raiders culture. The Ravens, they're a physical team. This year they led the league. I think they led the league in penalty yards. Oh, so you can throw more flags on them because they're a physical team. Now you got other teams that like Miami Dolphins. They're a finesse team. Maybe we won't throw as many flags on them because you know what? They're a finesse team. They're not that physical team. So if we want to influence it, we can do it that way. If we want their cornerbacks to get get away with blatant holds, blatant interferences. We can do that because they're really not a physical team; they're a finesse team. So there's ways you could do it if you wanted to do it.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. We got lots to talk about today. Of course, Mike is going to Gobbler's Knob this weekend. We got
I am.
Pittsburgh Steelers scoop. We have
I
Super
hate
Bowl
you.
talk. We have prop bets for the Super Bowl going on today here on the show. This is all-star weekend for football and for hockey. All kind of things, everybody. Relax. turn it up and join us for the next hour, guys. This is the Two Dum Yinzers. Mike, we have seven shows until episode 500.
Ooh.
I am beyond belief. And I come up with a couple more ideas for that week as well. I'll fill you in after the show.
Oh God, I get nervous when you come up with ideas.
I'm very nervous.
Tomorrow on the show, maybe we'll make these announcements because not this coming week, but the week of after the Super Bowl, we will be hitting episode 500. Very excited here at the show.
I'm pumped, man. Like I always say, once we hit a milestone, I never saw that milestone coming. Like, could we pull it off? And we did, man.
I figured I'd be dead way before it happened.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know how. I know.
I seen what you eat.
I seen the yeah.
I see what I eat.
A couple other things, guys, before I do get into the Steelers. The Ravens. Now, I didn't even realize this. Remember, we talked, over the past couple of days about the 17-10 score, this magic score, the score, what it takes to beat the Baltimore Ravens. I didn't realize as we were talking about this, they were only held to 10 points 3 times all year.
We were twice.
Those were the 3 games. That was the lowest amount of points they were held to all year long. And we did it 2 times. And I'm pretty convinced that Kansas City took a page out of our book to win last week against the Ravens. Derpy, 3 times all year they were held to only 10 points in a 14-3 season, whatever they were. And the Steelers were 2 of them. I mean, that's encouraging in a way. But again, I think, Mike, that ultimately breaks down to it being the same style team and the AFC North play. Do you think that's what it is?
I think that's what it is. And, they're Kansas City's defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, he's in the Super Bowl for the 5th time. I think it's tying Dick LeBeau's record, or just broke Dick LeBeau's record or something along those lines. Dude's a great defensive coordinator. And I guarantee you, he looked at what the Steelers did and more or less copied it. And the way they played, Kansas City played an AFC style North defense against the Baltimore Ravens. And
so
it makes me
just nuts.
That's the last thing I'm going to mention. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Derpy.
It makes me wish we beat the Bills even more, but Mike put it on spot on.
Yeah,
I got to tell you,
if we would have beat we could have made the championship game.
I got to tell you, if we would have, and then we said that. We said prior to the Bills game, if we could just win this game, we like our chances. We like the way that we play this team. We like our matchups, and we felt that we could be in the AFC Championship game. And I still believe that wholeheartedly. Guys, this is the last time I'm going to mention the Ravens for quite some time. The team, in all honesty, makes me want to throw up half of the time. But that was, it's a good point. That could have very well been. And it was the thing about it is the Steelers, I get this vibe. It's an early 90s vibe. And things go in cycles in sports. And there's a lot of things that I do notice. Good morning, Ron on the board. That I do notice in sports is there is a lot of cycles, whether it's, on purpose, whether it's accident, whether it's just fate. I don't know. But this has that feel of the early 90s with the Buffalo Bills. They had this good team, and we just couldn't beat this team. We just couldn't beat them. They would beat us every year, and they would beat us again in the playoffs. So, you know what? I just get that kind of vibe. But you're right, guys. If we would have somehow beat Buffalo, we are the team best equipped to beat that Baltimore Raven team. And we could very easily been in that AFC Championship game. But again, that would have probably been a disaster in itself. But I think that we could have certainly beat Baltimore
easily. I think it would have been another tough game, another 17-10 game probably. But the league wanted what they wanted, and they got what they wanted.
They got the Swifty Bowl.
I'm about to start wearing the tinfoil hat.
You gotta put something on that head. I can't barely see over here.
It's the shining beacon of hope.
No, it's the shining beacon of hope.
People think I have a light. People think that I have a light in front of me here that illuminates me, but it's not. It's your forehead.
Yeah, I'm secretly, I'm sitting 3 feet away from Ryan. We just have a small little flashlight that hits off of my head and it bounces back to
We're in a closet. We're in a closet somewhere. Let me get into this first. A couple things that the Steelers been looking at the past couple of days. The Senior Bowl. Mike Tomlin met with Oregon quarterback Bo Nix. Of course, you're going to meet with dozens of people while you're at these events. This isn't a telltale sign to me, but it is going to be something that you're going to hear over the next few days. Mike Tomlin and company met with Bo Nix.
I think that one was. Didn't he just tap his hand and him and that was it? I think that was it.
The report I have is he met with him, but I also have Mike Tomlin gets a close look at top center at the Senior Bowl, Oregon's Jackson Powers Johnson, which
Yep.
I think is
He's been good, looking good.
which I think is more realistic, especially if you're going to go after, this top kind of player in your first round.
Yeah.
I think the center would be the one that they would go after, of course, not somebody like Bo Nix. I'm not saying anything bad about Bo Nix. I just know the Steelers, the way they draft and what it is that they should be doing.
Yeah.
Good morning to Ralph on the board as well. So, a couple Oregon players early on, Mike, but as this offseason thing goes, it's a long road. And there's going to be a lot of names you're going to hear along the way.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of different scenarios, possibilities. Hey, the Steelers are going to get this guy. Hey, we're going to trade for that guy. Hey, we're going to get this free agent. So this is the beginning of a very long off season. Talking with Bo Nix, talking with Jackson Powers Johnson. So relax, everybody. Yep. It's going to be all right. We're going to get the players that we need, but right now you're going to hear a lot of different names.
Yeah, JPJ, he was the star offensive lineman throughout those drills. He was center, guard. They put him on all the inside positions, and he was handling some of the best defensive linemen. Yeah, they're all seniors, and some of these guys are going to be first round picks, and he was just manhandling them. And there's a couple times like you would start at the rep, it would look like he was getting beat, and he was just correcting himself. He looks like he could be like that Darmonte Dawson, Mike Webster. He can fill those shoes of the great lineage that we have at center. In the Bo Nix thing, I think that was just him talking to him. He ran into him. Because I saw the video, and he just shook his hand, and they both laughed and walked away. That was about it. Another one, I don't know if you saw, Ryan, but God.
Are you still talking about the handshake? You've been talking about that for 8 minutes.
I was just,
Holy shit.
It's stuck in the back of my head.
That's the longest conversation about a hand dap that I've ever heard.
It's stuck in the back of my head, and I couldn't get it out, and now it's out, and it just kept creeping back in.
All right.
He also, with a receiver from Michigan and the cornerback from Toledo, he's like, hey, I want to see. Yeah, he's like, I want to see you guys go head to head, and the coaches made it happen, and it was like one of the best battles that they had, and because Tomlin wants one of those two guys, that corner from Akron and the receiver from Michigan. That was a great matchup. Wilson and what's the guy from that corner? Derpy, Quentin. Mitten, I think it's his name. That was a good matchup. It's going to be a long, like Ryan said, it's going to be a long season.
Mike,
you're going to hear names. You're going to hear names.
Now on a show yesterday, I talked about, would you do this? And this is what I think we need to do. We kind of got into it a little bit yesterday. I believe I'm kind of getting my days mixed up, but bear with me. Do you think that it would be sensible to make a huge splash gamble move, take your, and I think we started on this show, and take your first round pick and bundle it with maybe your third round pick, and maybe bundle it with a big name player on this team to try to move up into top 5 somewhere if possible, and to get that quarterback, the one that we talk about on this show over and over and over, that you need to win in the league. Obviously we don't have him. Obviously most teams in the NFL don't have that guy. Do you think that gamble is worth it, Mike? If you would put together, and again, this is purely a speculation.
Yeah.
But if you would take, as I said, maybe our first round pick, our third round pick, and let me just throw in for shits and giggles, TJ Watt, and you hand this over to a team in that top 5, and you give that to them, and you say, can we have your pick? And they say yes. Is that gamble worth it? And if it is, who is it that you do take in that top 5 as a quarterback? And as I said, it's a gamble because that player could come up and not be any good in the NFL. Yeah. That happens over and over. Yeah. Do you think something like this would be a smart move for the Steelers to do? And if it is a smart move, Mike, who would you consider taking coming out of this year's draft? If that guy's even out there, he may not even be out there.
Yeah.
That you could think would be that next guy that could be here for the next 15 years and lead this Steeler team to Super Bowls and things of that nature.
Let's just say for shits and giggles, we do this scenario and we trade. Let's just say Chicago. We get that number 1 pick. That way, all quarterbacks are on the board.
Yeah.
I'm not me personally. I'm not convinced that any of these are going to be that guy. I think 1 or 2 might be a guy.
I don't see the guy out there this year.
They'll get overvalued.
Mike, I don't see the guy in this draft.
I don't see there's like a CJ Stroud or like a Peyton Manning or
No,
like a
you have
Eli
Drake
Manning.
May. You have a guy that had one
Yeah.
good season in Florida State. You have a couple other
Yeah.
guys. The kid out of USC. There literally is not a
Yeah.
guy out there that
Like
I think is
last
going to
year, I
come
think
in,
last
be
year,
that first number one pick, and just overtake. I
yeah,
don't see him in
yeah,
this draft.
there's not a Joe Burrow in this draft. Like for me, Drake or Caleb Williams, he should have come out last year because this year
Yeah.
just it hurt his draft stock. But if I had, I know I say I don't really trust quarterbacks from the ACC, but I would take Drake May. I think he's with the him and him and Caleb Williams are two of the youngest. I think May has gotten better every year. To me, I don't want the Heisman winner Daniels. He had one good year. I don't trust
Exactly. He falls in that Kenny Pickett
in that Kenny
category.
Pag. Yeah, they both had great last year's
Absolutely.
in
I
college,
put him in
man.
that. I put him in that category immediately. I
Yeah,
thought to myself,
I don't trust that
because
in their
Florida
age
State stunk
factor.
2 years ago.
Yeah,
Florida State
Travis.
stunk 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Florida State stunk 4 years ago. They had a really good season. You
Yeah.
take this guy, you're right back in the Kenny Pickett situation.
Yeah, I would roll the dice on Caleb Williams or Drake May.
Mike, what about? Let me
May.
throw a name in there for you. Can I throw a name? And
Yeah.
I think that this guy would be the closest thing to being that guy.
Mhm.
Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman, who played in in Wake Forest, made the transfer to Notre Dame, broke all kind of records at Notre Dame. He went to the ACC championship. This guy is a slinger. He could throw the ball over the place. What do you think about Sam Hartman? I think he's the closest thing to that guy in this draft.
I'm not a big fan of him. Isn't he like old too?
No, but I understand you have a bias against the ACC, but he literally, out of all these guys, he literally looks like, and if you watch him play, he's the most impressive quarterback out there.
I'm not sold on him. He's another, and two, sounds like ages with me. I don't like quarterbacks that are already in their like 24, 25-year range. It's how much more room do you have to grow as a quarterback? That's what I.
If you come in and you're
in and you're that guy right off the bat.
He's the type of guy that I think. Yeah, go ahead, Derby.
What about McCarthy?
Oh God, no! I don't trust him coming out of Michigan.
Derby,
he reminds me of too much of
There's nobody
Johnny Manziel.
Nobody out of the Big Ten, Mike, is ever going to like if it's outside of Penn State. Dumb question.
No, I'd like a CJ Stroud.
On to the next.
I would
Mike is a very biased person, and once you find this out about him, it's hard to have a conversation with him.
No, I love CJ Stroud, but this kid out of Michigan, I think he was carried by that run game and that defense.
Absolutely. 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 The Michigan, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I'm not sold on him. I would take him in like the 5th round, 6th round, see if there's something there, roll the dice on. A lot of these quarterbacks I would take in the 4th, 5th round range, but if I'm trading up, I wouldn't take any of these quarterbacks, but gun to my head, it's the top two. I'm taking Drake or I'm taking Caleb. Those are my
Drake is very good. Caleb, I'm not super sold on. That out west, I'm not super sold on these players. The guys in Oregon, I'm not super sold on these players. Marcus Mariota was one of these guys from out west that was supposed to be it. Them guys out there never just become it. I don't know what it is. Mike, let me ask you. So at the end of the day, do you think, as we established, I don't think that guy is sitting there. I don't think that guy is there for the picking, unless, as we said, you take one of these guys and they end out just being that guy, which is a very hard thing to determine, which makes it a gambling situation.
Yeah.
So with what we know and with what you just said, you don't think it would be a good idea to kind of package something like this and send it to Chicago and roll the dice? You feel that maybe this might be something you would do a little bit further down the road, or just abort entirely and continue to operate the way that we operate?
I would, if I'm going to make a move, I would package, let's say our first this year, Watt, a second next year. See if I can convince someone like Arizona. I believe they have multiple first round picks. See if we can hop up and get 2 picks, rebuild the team that way. Because we haven't won with these players, and the coach isn't going anywhere. So you have to go with changing the roster. Then this would be the year I would start to rebuild my entire team from top to bottom, kind of tear it down and start over again.
I wouldn't be opposed to it either.
Right, it's just one of the thoughts right there, because I don't think there is a star.
But there's a risk that comes with that too.
Let's say there's a risk comes with
and you
all
start
the
from ground zero. There's no guarantee that things could come come together with it, this could happen. It could ultimately go into 10 years, Mike, where you could be having worse situations just because of the way it has to be well thought out. This is we're at a very fragile time in this franchise. We really are compared to the history of the Super Bowl era. This is probably one of the more fragile times in the history of the NFL for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. I'm gonna jump over, Mike. I'm gonna take let me address something here. Ron, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think that Kenny can be the guy. Do I think he's going to? I don't know. It's there's so much that has to happen. I think there's so much that has to happen around him. I think that bringing in this coordinator is going to tell a lot of tales. And also there's a lot of talk about this guy is going to really improve the play action, which people apparently think that we had a problem with. We didn't do it a lot. It wasn't in our play calling, but as far as that particular quarterback in 2023 and play action plays, he was 42 for 53, 79.2% completed percentage, 387 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 109.7 QB rating. So let's just say Arthur Smith can come in and improve the play action, and if the running game is able to do what it did this year, maybe a little bit better, you strengthen that offensive line. This crazy concoction of players and coordinators and coaches that we have, it may be effective. It just may be effective, Mike. And it's just got to be effective enough to win in our division, as you know, and get into the playoffs. Because beyond that, there's other problems you're going to come across. But first and foremost, you got to be able to win in your division.
Yeah. And like our scoring defense was one of the better ranked as one of the better scoring defenses in the league. Yardage wise, we were weren't the best. We saw that happen against Cleveland. We didn't give up a lot of points, but we gave up a lot of yards, and that tipped the balance of the game. But scoring defense-wise, we're right where we are. And if Arthur Smith can get this offense close to where he had it when he was down in Tennessee in that 28-point game range, it puts you in a pretty good spot. And we'll see what happens. I'm not the biggest Kenny guy, but I want him to succeed because he's the quarterback of my favorite team.
That's the thing. I'm not a big Arthur Smith guy, but I want him to succeed.
Yeah,
I want him to come in here and do some
all of them to succeed.
Anybody that comes in and dons our colors, I want them to be successful. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to voodoo wish that Arthur Smith doesn't succeed. That's the furthest thing from when the season starts. I'm all aboard. Whatever the choices that we make during the offseason, I may agree, I may disagree, but once they kick off, guys, in September, I'm all aboard. This is my team, and it is what it is. We're going to roll with it. Yeah. Are we going to complain along the way? Absolutely. It's what we do here. We take things and we look at it objectively. We give opinions, and it is what it is. But as we speak, I'm okay with this, guys. My only concern was, did we jump the gun? You have Kyle Shanahan's teams. Players from his tree. You have people that are coaching under him. This guy was able to take Jimmy Garoppolo and make it to the Super Bowl. This guy has been able to take a quarterback that was the last quarterback chosen in the draft, which it's debatable whether he's. Yeah. That's not the story. That's not the argument. My question is, why did we rush Mike? Should we have waited to at least see if we could taken some of the fruit off of this tree and checked it out before we took it? We indulged in this apple over here.
I think we should have. Like Derby was saying, I think we should have waited, but
it only makes sense. Why rush that?
I don't know. Because Arthur Smith was getting offers from another team or two, and they were panicked. Like, we're not going to get the experienced guy that they wanted. Personally, I was on record. I wanted Clint Kubiak. I really did.
Matter of fact, you owe me $1 because of that.
Yeah,
You were on record saying that this is going to be the guy. We're going to get this guy. I'm going to bet you money. And the guy that we were making fun of literally 10 minutes prior to that, because he looks like a generic avatar on the Madden creative coach, literally gets hired an hour after we have this conversation, Mike.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, he can, if he can find the success.
We are still wrong.
That what he did with Tennessee, it can turn out to be a pretty damn good hire, sneaky good hire.
I just hope that we could get that out of him. Everybody keeps saying saying those 2 seasons with Tennessee. I hope we could get that out of him. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, and like players that played for him, they were on Twitter and in the media, they're saying this is a sneaky good hire. We liked playing for him. We liked the way he ran the offense. The offense can produce points.
But the players around the league and the media are also telling us that we have one of the greatest coaches ever, and we know as fans that we're having a hard time even winning a playoff game. So you know what I mean? You got to take that balance.
You got to take that balance. But you know what? Like I said, man, it's like when you see a movie trailer, you're just gonna bitch about it. And you see it, it'll be a great movie, or you see a trailer, go, "This is the best fucking movie ever." You watch it, it's the worst movie ever. You don't know. He right now he's Schrodinger's offensive coordinator. He's going to be either really good or really bad.
I just think that after what we just experienced, can it possibly be worse, guys?
No, it's only going to get. It's only better.
And the thing is, your quarterbacks, they have another year under their belt. You're going to have a draft where you're going to bring up, get some players that you're in need of, that you were in need of last season. You're going to have some free agent signings that you're going to try to make up for ground. So in theory, things should get better. And as we said on the show, Mike, you want that gradual progression every year as a team in general, no matter if you're a football team, a baseball team, hockey, whatever it may be, you want to get a little bit better every year because you feel that you're making progress.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a golden opportunity for somebody like this Arthur Smith to come in. And if he can have a season like he did 2-3 years ago in Tennessee, and if these other situations can kind of fall into place, are we going to be that super team just yet? No, but you know what? That don't worry me, Mike, because there really is no super teams anymore with this, with this parity. The Eagles started out 10-0. Look, they almost missed the playoffs. They barely got out of the, they lost the playoff game in the first round. They got killed by Tampa Bay. So again, you don't have to be great anymore. You just got to be good enough. And again,
you have to be mediocre enough to just a bit above mediocre to make it to the playoffs. And we've been mediocre for how long? So we got that down right there.
We're the kings of mediocre.
Kings of mediocre. So we are built.
Mediocrity is our middle name.
Like Bane said, you were adopted into the mediocrity. We've been born into the mediocrity.
That's right, bitches.
So we got it there. And it's just, but like you said, we saw improvements from individuals this year on this team. Like when Mason came in, no one expected him to play as well as he did. Joey Porter Jr., no one thought he would be this shutdown corner right out the gate. Roger Jones started off slow. When he came in, was great. Keanu Benton was great.
The rookies played very well. No two ways about it.
We've had the ability of finding people off the streets to come in and play well that you thought were going to be bums after we started losing people. So there's signs there that it's getting better. And the record showed it was better. We made the improvement from last year to this year record.
You're right. We advanced to the playoffs. It was better. It was
better. And this was year 2 removed from losing your star quarterback that you could have relied on a whole hell of a lot, that hid a lot of warts on this roster and on the coaching staff. Now he's gone, and now you can. It's like shedding the light onto everything now that Ben's gone. Okay, what did he, really hide on this team? And we're seeing it now. And hopefully now we have a new front office, they're able to address this better than Colbert was at the end of his career. Because Colbert, his beginning of his career, was one of the greatest GMs of all time. Kind of lost it at the end, which happens. Now we got Colin and Weedle in here, and it kind of reminds me of when we had Cower and the GM before Colbert came in. Donahue had some bad drafts. The team wasn't looking good. And that helped us propel to the Super Bowl. That changed, and hopefully history can repeat itself.
Derpy says to me before the show, today's a special day, everybody. Today is a special day. You want to know why? Because it's been 15 years to the day. This time, 15 years ago, you were getting ready to watch Super Bowl 43. And this Super Bowl is the one where we played against the Arizona Cardinals in Tampa Bay. Come down to the end of the game. Ben makes probably one of the most amazing throws in the history of the playoffs and or Super Bowl to Santonio Holmes to win the game ultimately 27-23. Guys, 15 years ago today, last Super Bowl win. I remember like it was yesterday.
Me too. I remember where I was. The two greatest Super Bowl plays happened in that game.
Yep.
James Harrison, that's why he's on the thumbnail today. That run, that interception, thing of beauty. And he wasn't even supposed to blitz. Or supposed to be in coverage. He was supposed to blitz, but saw the play and made that beautiful play right there. And then that throw to Ben DeSantonio. That is the best throw and catch in NFL history.
And you know, just a few years prior to that, those plays certainly overshadow one of my favorite plays in Super Bowl history, where Willie Parker takes the first run in the second half, 75 yards to the house. At that time, tying the longest run in Super Bowl history. That play gets overshadowed so much by these two other plays in Super Bowl 43. Can't forget about Willie Parker's run. That play was one of the most amazing plays in the Super Bowl as well.
Oh.
But guys, 15 years ago today was the day we won Super Bowl 43.
That game, I was so nervous when Larry Fitzgerald went. I'm like, at least if we're gonna get beat, it's by Larry Fitz. I was like, all right, I could live with that. And then
I wasn't ready to lose that game when Larry.
I didn't want to lose, but I'm like,
when he split the Red Sea and scored that touchdown. I wasn't ready to lose. I thought, you know what, we're going to do something. We're the Steelers. We're going to win. I really felt that way. I didn't at all believe that we were going to lose that football game, man.
And then what was it? The first play on the game-winning drive was like a holding call or a false start. Like Ben was telling the guys in the huddle, "This is it, man. O-line, no one believes in you. I believe in you." Penalty.
Let me segue this, guys. This is Throwback Thursday, guys. I'm going to ask you this question. Put on your thinking caps, Derpy. Let me send out the Derpy signal just to make sure that he's alive and well, and we could have access to him. Derpy, Mike, Throwback Thursday. Here's your question of the day for Throwback Thursday. What is your worst Steelers playoff memory? Your worst Steelers playoff memory. Last week we talked about our favorite Steelers playoff memory. I'm going to go first. There's a few that you could obviously go to, and I'm not going to name them off because the guys may use them. But my first worst, this one took my Steeler playoff virginity in a sense, was the game in 1994-95 season where we came 3 yards short of the end zone we lost to the San Diego Chargers, who went on to get murdered in the Super Bowl against San Francisco. But the play where Neil O'Donnell throws the ball over the middle to Barry Foster in the end zone and it gets knocked down was my least favorite play in Steeler playoff history at that point. I mean, obviously, you know what happened a few years after that and things like this. But that, guys, is my Throwback Thursday worst playoff Steeler memory. Mike?
Mine, oh, God. So many to choose from. Mine is still going to be the Denver Broncos. Dummy.
1997,
I remember that one. Those two, the 3 yards, and then that Broncos one, I burned into my brain.
Brian
at such a young age.
Brian on the board. Good morning, Brian. Brian says Rashard Mendenhall. I'm assuming he's talking about the fumble in Green Bay, which is another great one. Derpy, what is your least favorite worst Steeler playoff moment for Throwback Thursday?
Does the Tennessee field goal count?
Absolutely.
That one.
The missed field goal and then the made field goal and the fireworks going off and Dwayne Washington. This was 02-03. That's also on my list. Ron on the board, the Neil O'Donnell game was the one that I was obviously referring to as I was talking about a little bit down the road after the game that I was talking about. These are all terrible, terrible Steeler playoff memories. Anybody else on the board feel like sharing? Feel free to do so.
Guys, I remember that the one that Derby mentioned. We were at my that was like the day before my grandfather's funeral. We're at the funeral home visiting hours, and the game was on. And so we would all run outside to the car, listen, come back in, run outside, car, listen. The ups and downs of that night, those emotions. F you, Tennessee. F you.
I kind of have a funny story about that too.
Oh, my grandfather dying?
Well, yeah, obviously that was the funny part. But listen to this. I was on the couch and I'm watching this football game, and I had one of those squeeze balls that kids have that have liquid in them. You know, you squeeze and they kind of pop out the top and the bottom of your hands. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm squeezing it, and I'm just watching the game, and it exploded as I'm squeezing it, and all the juices flew into my eyes, and my left eye went completely blind. And I ran into the bathroom and started spraying water, in my eyes. But that literally happened, Mike, as your bad day was happening as well. That was just a shitty day.
I'm glad to know, we were connected before we even met each other in the shared misery of the Steelers.
But
that game, man. Oh,
obviously, mine was worse than your grandfather dying.
Yeah,
but,
Well, I drank so much that night, so I barely remember the game.
Ron, some of these Patriots losses in the early 2000s, they were, I mean, 24-17 in the 2001 game. Cordell Stewart first playoff game at Heinz Field, and they were all like special teams touchdowns, if I'm remembering. The 04, the 03-04 was Corey Dillon. I think that was 41-27, if I'm not mistaken, New England. So I mean, there's plenty of bad playoff memories, of course, that I'm sure that we could really dig and find, guys. But let's talk a little bit about let's talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. I have some prop picks that I want to talk about for the Super Bowl, for the extracurriculars to the Super Bowl, if you will. But first, I want to say this: did anybody see? And I got to say, I'm thoroughly disgusted. And I'm not a great, I'm not.
It takes a lot to disgust you.
And I'm not a statue by any means. But did anybody see Patrick Mahomes without his shirt on? Oh God!
This guy is out there torching defenses, shredding off dudes that are jacked beyond belief, and he's out there dad bodding it up.
I don't even know if that's a dad bod. It's like
that's Coors Light.
It's like a pudding belly. And I gotta say, I mean, is anybody really surprised by the bitch hips and the prego ass that the guy is out there running around with? That he has an upper body like this? I'm curious if anybody thought this guy was built. Hey, let me sum this up because people may not know what we're talking about. There's a viral video after the game. Patrick Mahomes was in the locker room celebrating with his team, and he had no shirt on. And I gotta say that it's very, very, very unimpressive for a professional athlete. But Mike made good points earlier. You know what? Ben wasn't the most ripped guy. Who was the other person you used as an example when I talked to you earlier?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Yeah. I mean,
so was one of the other ones. Yeah.
So, but there is a lot of people talking about this right now, and you're going to see this video. And I got to say, on one hand, I'm not surprised because of his childbearing hips. There it is. There it is.
Look at that.
Just take a minute, guys. Take a look at this picture in Mike's box. And if you're confused at what you're seeing, that's a little bit of a jiggly pudding belly hanging over at the bottom. And it isn't exactly chest muscles. What's going on there?
Those are not pecs. Those are budding man boobs.
Those are budding. It would look like your 10-year-old, as he's going to elementary school. That those kind of little chubby boobies. But there you have it, guys. There is your goat.
There's your
there's your acting goat. As we speak.
I love it. I love it.
So there you go. The best quarterback in the league looks a lot like we do. We'll take it.
I love it.
We can be just like him.
That's right. Derby's in front of his mirror right now with no shirt on, saying, "Yeah, that's right."
Once Pat retires, he's going to look like me, and that gives me comfort.
Yeah, minus the chest hair, he pretty much looks like me. Guys. Travis Kelce will be skipping the Grammys to prepare for the Super Bowl. His old lady shows up for all of his games. He is not going to be able to make it to the Grammys. There is, of course, this is a big thing, and you got to be prepared. But Mike, do you think that he should, meet his lady halfway and go to the Grammys?
No, because if he does go to the Grammys and say they lose and he has one drop, he's distracted.
And that's a big if. I mean, he could go and have 11 catches and they could win. I mean,
but to play it, the smart thing to do is
go to
just go. Don't go, because that will just be a big.
What if she goes out in her performance here in a couple of weeks when she goes on tour? She's in Japan and she misses some notes, and they say, well, if she wasn't spending time supporting her hubby, her man, maybe she would sing better. I mean, shouldn't he be more supportive? Shouldn't he show up at least?
Yeah, because he's gone to other shows. He's gone to a bunch of her concerts.
Has he really?
Yeah, he's gone to concerts and stuff. So.
Oh, that's weird. That's even weirder. I was hoping that you wasn't even going to say that.
No, he went. He's gone to some of her stuff. So, the
Can you see him up there doing the Swifty fingers and all that?
He probably does. He's
guys. This is
smart move. Like smart move. Dating a billionaire. That's a high IQ.
That's smart marketing by the NFL.
That's all. Travis is
that is NFL's brainchild right there. I agree with Derby.
Well, like one guy at work said, I'm surprised he didn't go after one of the Lamar Hunt's daughters because they're very, very beautiful and they're rich as well. But sometimes you don't want to date the owner's daughter because you make break her heart. Next thing you know, you're cut and you're shipped off to like Cleveland or some shit.
Or you're like Triple H and you pretty much own the WWE one day.
That was the long play. That's why he's the game. That's why he's the cerebral assassin.
I love
knew what he was doing, baby.
Yes, sir. Guys, let's talk about some of these prop bets for Super Bowl 58 for the Super Bowl between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. I want to talk about some of these prop bets. First, let's go. Well, we're already talking Taylor Swift. This is a prop bet. Will Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl? Of course, they're saying that she's going to make her way from Japan. I didn't think she was going to be there, but this is the scoop. She's making her way from Japan on her tour to make sure she is in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl next Sunday. Top prop that I read, first one I read right on the list. Will Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift? Mike.
If they win, yes.
Interesting.
If not, Valentine's Day.
Okay. So you think they're
going to
they're going to get married, huh?
Yeah. Those two crazy kids.
All right. Next on the list, guys. Will Taylor Swift be in the MVP's speech? The MVP, whoever it is, whether it be Kelce, whether it be Mahomes, will Taylor Swift be mentioned in the MVP's speech at the end of the game?
If it's Mahomes, I think he will do it because he's, just to troll people. I think he will do it. Yes.
I can't believe this is a bet.
Ron's going with that they're already engaged.
Oh, interesting. Maybe Ron knows something that we don't know.
See, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about, boys.
All right. That's actually one of the props. Well, let me see. Will she make it to the game on time? Will Taylor Swift make it to the game on time?
Yes. That because her plane will cross the international date line. She will technically time travel back in time and make it to the game.
Back to the Future.
It's weird how that date line and time zones work. She will make it on time. She will leave on like a Saturday and land on a Saturday.
All right, guys.
Sunday, land on a Saturday. Some shit.
Will they show Taylor Swift during the national anthem?
Yes.
This is a prop.
Yes. That is easy money.
That is easy money.
And the next question is number of times is 1.5. During 1.5 times. If they do show her, will it be more or less than 1.5 times during the national anthem? Derpy?
Mm-hmm.
Sending out the Derpy signal.
Derpy!
Yes.
You do. He said yes. More or less than 1.5.
Way to pay attention, bro.
More means yes.
Yeah. Okay. So they're gonna. This is why we have the Derpy signal.
More don't equal anything.
Mike, 1.5 times, more or less. They showed Taylor Swift during the national. I mean, you think the national anthem's only a minute or so? Do they show her more or less than 1.5 times?
You know what? I'm taking the over. I am taking the over.
Okay. I think
Super Bowl.
I think
it's the Super Bowl. If she makes it, it's the Super Bowl. They're gonna put the camera on her.
Length of Reba McEntire's national anthem. That is also a prop bet. How many songs will Usher perform at halftime? A prop bet. Which songs will Usher perform at halftime? What artists might join him in his halftime performance? What's the first song going to be that Usher does at halftime? And will he debut a new song at halftime? These are your Usher prop bets for the Super Bowl. Again, I like prop bets.
I love prop bets because you can tell who the degenerate gambler is.
What is NFL
as they pay attention to the halftime show, they're sitting there like this, rubbing their hands, all like, "Who do we got?
What is the NFL come to?
But it makes things interesting. You know what I mean?
It does too, man. When you got action on the game, Derpy, when you got action on the side stuff, the Super Bowl is a whole hell of a lot more fun, baby.
And then obviously the coin toss, the things such as first touchdown. Will this player score? Will that player not score? Yeah, I mean, you go down a list. There's hundreds of different things on the
parlays, baby.
Best
parlays.
parlays, get
Where the
in,
money's at.
make your money, lose your money, whatever you do with your money. It all comes down to next Sunday for Super Bowl 58, guys, between again the 49ers and the Chiefs. That's it's going to be it, man. That's the end of football season. But
But there's
we
more.
have a little bit of but wait, there's more. There's a little bit of football prior, guys.
Yeah, baby.
The Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl starts. Pro Bowl festivities start tonight. So for anybody who's not aware and you have nothing to watch on TV later on, today, Thursday, February 1st, from 7:00 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., you have some of the festivities at the Pro Bowl. I'll give you some examples of what it is that you will be seeing from that, and it goes through, not including tomorrow and Saturday, but the second and final day of the festivities is Sunday, February 4th at 3:00 p.m. So today and Sunday, 7 to 8:30 tonight, and then on Sunday at 3 p.m. in Orlando, Florida. This could all be watched on ESPN. Tonight, guys, they will be doing let's see.
I will not be attending.
Precision passing, best catch, the punt catch where they they shoot it out of the jug machine and you got to see how many balls you can catch. On Sunday, they'll be doing the tug of war, the gridiron gauntlet, move the chains, all these kind of things. And then they'll be finishing it up with the 7-on-7 flag football thing they got going on. Also, they'll be doing golf, dodgeball, tic-tac-toe. Guys, a lot of stuff. It starts tonight. So you do have NFL in a bizarre kind of degenerate way. You have NFL football tonight at 7:00 p.m. over on ESPN, the beginning of the Pro Bowl games and events. Mike.
You know what? I like some of the events. I might not watch it, but I'll probably go back and
I
watch
got
it
better
online.
things to do.
Just take a look at some of this stuff. I used to be all about the skill competitions back in the day. Remember they had the quarterback accuracy.
That was cool.
They used to have like a Nintendo game that was based. It was called like QB Challenge or something.
Yeah, QB
and
Challenge,
you'd be able to do all of them
things. It was incorporated into like some of the Madden games too. They had that stuff.
Yes.
You made to the Pro Bowl. I remember when they had like the field goal kicker challenge, kicking from weird angles and stuff like that. I'll sit down there and watch that, build the festivity around it. But now it's lost its luster. I think once you reach a certain age, some of that stuff goes off. But when I was younger, I loved that stuff.
I'm gonna have it on. I'll have it on. I'll be checking it out tonight, see what's going on. Guys, if you're not thrilled about the NFL playoff or All-Star weekend, you could always on Saturday, 3:00 p.m. on Saturday, the All-Star game of the NHL. Of course, the skills competition starts Friday. So tonight, Pro Bowl, NFL, tomorrow's skills competition, NFL or NHL. Saturday NHL game where they broke it down, and of course that's a whole different thing now. And then Sunday
Senior Bowl
is your NFL All-Star conclusion to their All-Star weekend. So these next 4 days between the NFL and the NHL, it's All-Star weekend. So there you go, guys. If you're looking for something a little extra on TV, there's going to be some things that you could watch in way of All-Star festivities. I will have the stuff on here, around, and I'll be checking it out. I'm not going to be focused and excited to see it, but I will be checking it out. This is the second year they changed the All-Pro game in the NFL to be the way that it is. I'm going to check it out one more time. I'm going to give it one more chance before I totally hate it. I hated it last year. I hated the change, but I'm going to watch it again and see if it grows on me. Mike, this is All-Star weekend.
I kind of like that, but don't like that it's all happening at the same time. But I like it because just get that.
It's the participation
out
bowl.
of the way. Get it out of the way. I hate that it's like for hockey, it's like a whole week off.
Yeah, see, I don't care for that either.
No NHL. But you know what?
Will you be watching the skills competition for hockey, Mike, on Friday?
No, same thing. I will go and watch some of the stuff online.
Really? See, I like the skills.
I do like the skills. The presentation for me is too long. There's too much fluff and filler.
I hate the fluff and filler. You're right. Of course, Crosby was selected to the All-Star, so you can see Sidney Crosby in all this going on. Pitt Panthers last night, they play the first of 2 home games. Of course, the basketball team I'm talking. Pitt wins over Wake Forest 77-72. On Saturday, they host Notre Dame, and that is going to be alumni night for Pitt, which is going to be a night where they celebrate the Elite 8 teams from 1974 and 2009. Dwan Blair, a bunch of guys you will totally recognize their names, but if you get a chance, check it out or get down to the Pete. That is on Saturday, Notre Dame.
See, I like Pitt basketball. I'm not gonna.
You do?
I do. I can like.
Yeah, Pitt basketball's awesome, man.
Yeah. I like. I used to watch them back in the day. Yeah, because Penn State basketball sucks. And, every once in a while we'll have a
That
run.
is
Like
correct.
every 20
Once in a
years we
while.
have a little run. So
Yeah.
if I need my basketball fix for college, Pitt was always competitive. So,
Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about this website?
the 2dumyinzers.com, the number 2 DUMYINZERS.com. Over there, we got the merch store. We got all of our social links. We got the blog. I need to figure out what to do with the blog. Probably get ready for a lot of mock drafts and fun stuff like that. Because this is my time of the year for football. Give me the mock
All right, there you go. Go check it out, everybody. Go check out the website. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the and the number 2. And as you see spelled behind me, Dum, D-U-M, Yinzers.com. A lot of cool stuff over there. Mike does a lot of hard work, so do go check it out. www.the2dumyinzers.com. Guys, let's get into the All-Star, All-Pro trivia question of the day. Of course, we mentioned all the All-Pro festivities and All-Star things going on between now and Sunday. So this, guys, is no different than the last couple days. Guys on the board, feel free to jump right in and give your answers. But guys, Mike, Derpy, you there?
Derpy!
See, now I think he's messing with us.
I think so.
I was waiting for the call. I was
waiting.
No, see,
There you
Hollywood Derpy right now.
Hollywood Derpy. All right, fellas. Guys on the board, people at home, here we go. Here is the question of the day, the trivia question. This is an All-Pro, NFL All-Pro question.
John Taylor.
What AFC quarterback threw just 2 touchdown passes in 2022-2023 regular season, but threw 4 touchdown passes in the first football game of the 2023 Pro Bowl games?
Ooh.
One more time. Let me read that. What AFC quarterback threw just 2 touchdown passes in last year's season, but threw 4 touchdown passes in the first football game of the 2023 Pro Bowl games? Go ahead and think that over, guys. We are live, everybody, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, right here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you don't get a chance to catch the show, or you can only listen to it, maybe you're in the car, maybe you're at the gym, maybe just taking a walk, throw in your earbuds, you can always check out the live show that we do every day, because we upload it over on Spotify podcast form at 8 o'clock p.m. every day, the show from that day. So get a chance, or maybe, like I said, you just don't have a chance to check us out on YouTube. You could always pop it in, listen on your way here, on your way there, over on Spotify. Check it out. All right, guys, the question of the day is this. This is our Pro Bowl, NFL Pro Bowl question. What AFC quarterback threw just 2 touchdown passes in the 2022-2023 regular season, but threw 4 touchdown passes in the first football game of the 2023 Pro Bowl games? And let me ask you, does anybody need choices before we start?
I need choices because I'm trying to think.
Okay. Derpy, do you need choices as well?
I'm gonna go with choices as well.
All right. So, guys, this is your choices. I'm looking for this one particular quarterback who threw 2 touchdown passes all last year, but at the Pro Bowl, he threw full game. Your choices are this: Jacoby Brissett, Case Keenum, Tyler Huntley, Brian Hoyer. I'm looking for that quarterback. All right. Mike, Derpy, I'm going to start with you. What AFC quarterback threw just 2 touchdown passes in last football season, but threw 4 touchdown passes in the first game of the 2023 Pro Bowl games? Derpy, who do you think it was? Brissett, Keenan, Huntley, or Hoyer?
I'm gonna go Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
All right. Let me lock Derpy in on Jacoby Brissett. Mike, I'm going to come to you. Which one of these 4 quarterbacks do you think that it was?
I'm going with Fort Rogers. I'm going with Huntley.
All right. Ron on the board says Tyler Huntley. Mike is going to say the same thing. Is that your final answer, Mike?
That is.
All right. So everybody's locked into place. And I'm gonna address that just in 1 second, Mike, with the what Ron is asking you. All right, guys, here's the question of the day. This is our Pro Bowl question. What AFC quarterback threw just 2 touchdown passes in the 2022-2023 regular season, but threw 4 touchdown passes in the first game of the 2023 Pro Bowl games? Brissett, Keenan, Huntley, Hoyer. Derpy says Brissett. Ron on the board says Huntley. Mike says Huntley. The answer is, of course, Tyler Huntley. He was a replacement last year. You've seen him a couple times during the season. The Steelers certainly seen him. He had very little numbers to go by. However, he was a replacement player. He did come in and play very effectively in that game that is spoken of. Tyler Huntley, guys, is the answer of the question of the day. So there you go. Great job. Yeah, Mike, I don't know why either. It's like it's always like 5 seconds just before
5 seconds.
Yeah, like it's like you're hitting the button a little early or something.
Well, because I know we run because running through Zoom and stuff, there is that little bit of a lag and delay.
Okay.
And I know when it records everything and shows everything, so I thought it just kept the stream would keep going. So,
Okay, I've noticed this a while back. I just never really.
I remember Ron mentioned something about it, and then I just forgot to look into it. But I might have something where I can do that today, just like turn my screen to something else. So you're not just sitting here seeing me like this for a couple seconds.
All right. We want to do that. We do want to thank everybody for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. I want to thank you as always. We wouldn't do it without you. We want to thank everybody on the board. You always keep things interesting. Mike, anything before we get ready to take off?
Yeah, it's like what Ron said. He said he checked out different Steelers shows, didn't like them, not interactive and boring and bad takes. He likes us. Says we're fun. I appreciate that, Ron.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah. We may not all agree on everything, but we try to have fun here.
We barely agree on anything. But anyway,
that what makes it fun.
Derpy, what do you got before we take off, man?
Let's go, Pens. Go watch Crosby on the skills tomorrow.
All right, Pens, Crosby, skills.
Derpy.
There you have it. Mine is this. Mine is a kind of a question. Mike, what is the difference between a dollar and a pound? The dollar and the pound.
What is the difference?
I can't dollar your mom.
I gotta remember that one for work.
But I saw that. I thought, oh my god, I gotta get Mike, and I was gonna get you earlier. I thought I'm gonna wait till the show. Why not? What better time to do it?
What's the difference between jelly and jam?
What?
Can't jelly this dick inside you.
Hey now. Also, I got a couple more, but I'm gonna save these for tomorrow. I want to keep this thing going through the weekend. No, but hey, guys, thank you so much. Mike, Derpy, anything else? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
No, got nothing.
Derpy?
I got nothing.
Derpy, now he waits for the signal now.
No, he's milking this shit.
Kill him. All right, but yes, awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. For Mike in the Steeler Central's mobile studio, Derpy, myself, the 2 Dum Yinzers. Everybody have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again. We'll see you then.
Yeah.